Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to give you my thoughts on Halo Infinite Season 2. It's been a little while since it's dropped. I wanted to get at least a couple of weeks in and a fair bit of playtime before I gave my thoughts. I didn't want to jump too early and get anything wrong. I wanted to make sure I had a very good, solid understanding of what we're getting this Season 2 and whether or not 343 has absolutely nailed it or whether they've dropped the ball. Before we get into it, if you like the content, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell to be notified when I go live with videos or Xbox Infinite airs on Fridays, 8 p.m. EST for the US and 10 a.m. Eastern States time for Australia. With all that out of the way, let's get into it.
We're on a mission from God.
Halo Season 2 Lone Wolves has released with 2 new modes and 2 new maps, with a third mode slated to be coming later in the season. The 2 new modes that we can speak on are King of the Hill and Last Spartan Standing. The mode coming later in the season is Land Grab. So kicking things off with King of the Hill, it's a staple for the Halo franchise. It's been missing from Season 1 and it has returned, and for the most part, it's a welcome addition. There's some serious balancing issues here in this mode, especially in specific maps, such as Launch Site. You'll often spawn so far away from the hill that you've got one attempt to retake that hill before the enemy team takes it. If you miss that one attempt, you will not get the hill and the other team will cap it without any real issues. That theme continues on through the match within that map, and it's something that I think 343 really needs to take a look at or remove that map from the playlist until they can get some more balance within it. This is also a theme within Behemoth, but with the added frustration of being so open that it's usually absolutely impossible to get close enough to the hill whilst covering the distance, you'll likely get done on the way there. Aside from these 2 maps, King of the Hill isn't a bad re-addition to Season 2, and I'm glad it's back. The mode really shines in the new Catalyst map, and 343 definitely deserves praise for its curation here. The other mode, Last Spartan Standing, is a free-for-all reimagining of Team Attrition, which is now within the quick play game list. Last Spartan Standing could really be described as a mini battle royale. It's exclusively played on Breaker at the moment, the new BTB map. 12 players spawn, each with a sidekick pistol and a disruptor to start. You have 5 lives, and kills award XP, which is used to level up, giving you better weapons, supposedly. Pods will also drop randomly throughout the match, giving players overshields or active camouflage. These drops are abundant and a serious issue within the match. The pod drops are extremely predictable, and so once you've learnt the map, you will know where they drop. Unfortunately, your spawn position at the beginning of any one match will give you the advantage or disadvantage over the other players knowing where those pod drops are. This unbalances the match in such a way as to make it completely unfair and to make it completely unfun. When your lives are gone, you're out. It's a very basic overview of the mode type. In my opinion, this mode is horrifically unbalanced. It encourages camping over any kind of engagement. Almost always, the Spartans who actively avoid combat are the players who will win the match. That's not Halo to me. If you do play aggressively in Last Spartan Standing, the sound of any gun battle in the smaller BTB map will always bring scavengers to mop up Spartans. With your shield depleted, you'll get punished for engaging, causing the aggressor who came out on top of the initial battle usually to be shot in the back. The only tactical option within this mode is to avoid combat where possible, and it's an odd design choice, I think, for a first-person shooter, and definitely needs some serious looking at by 343. I can see that it could be fun with a little bit of balancing, and hopefully 343 gets to this as soon as possible. But unfortunately, if you're not keen on this mode like me, and you choose not to play, you will miss out on some of the coolest weapon coatings, helmet attachments, stances, etc. that the game has yet to offer. The gear itself is a positive, but 343 still seem to be relentlessly pushing their much complained about objective-based leveling system. Without the requested XP leveling the community has and is still asking for. I'll return to gear in a minute. The final and surprise mode, Rumble Pit, which I'll admit I've spent the least amount of time in, consists of modes like Fiesta Slayer, Vampire Oddball, Shoddy Snipes, Rocket Oddball, and Ninja Slayer. I'll not go into detail on what each mode is and does, but fan favourites return and some new takes as well. And for the players who enjoy free-for-all modes, a fantastic offering. To be fair, 343 should be patting themselves on the back here. The name of the season outlines its general theme, Lone Wolves. I cannot believe this choice. It's probably among the stupider choices 343 has made in a slew of baffling design choices. Halo's strength lies in its community-based play, from LAN parties of the early 2000s, Halo 5's Warzone, which is also not perfect, but good. Halo shines its best in a party and co-op, and this gives almost nothing to that vein. I'm really starting to lose faith in 343, and I'm considering putting it down until they figure their shit out. There's definitely a breaking point for Halo fans, even myself. One last negative, the lack of maps. It's really stark, and 343 should push Forge to the forefront. Fan-made maps could just be what saves Infinite. Because there's only 2 maps, they scarcely show up in the rotations, and it's really frustrating. The maps themselves are a positive, however, and it's because they're really, really good that it is frustrating. The BTB Breaker map is great. It's just such a shame that it shows up in the rotation so little. The size of the map keeps the opposing sides at each other's throats and within arm's reach throughout the entire match, with verticality that keeps you on your toes. The aesthetic is great, with the Brute Shipyard Red Desert biome something missing from the campaign, and weapons are liberally spread throughout the map and vehicles as well, creating just the right amount of chaos. This map is an absolute gem, and when played on BTB is absolutely amazing. Breaker certainly shows that 343 know exactly what they're doing when putting together maps. Moving on to Catalyst, this map is set in an abandoned, overgrown Forerunner bunker and is definitely my favourite. There's a heavy focus on verticality with this one as well, and tight corridors with exposed light bridges crisscrossing above and below. The center of the map, and it feels like it's made for modes like Capture the Flag and King of the Hill. Even Rumble Pit's Vampire Oddball is right at home here. Catalyst is absolutely amazing. The tightness of the map, the close quarters combat, the way that you can shift around the map to get to different points. It is an absolute masterclass of a map. And again, shows that 343 know what they're doing with maps. The gear in Season 2 is another massive positive. There has been a lot of updates to a lot of the free gear that you can get, adding stances, armor pieces, and even things for the Mark 7. The Battle Pass and event gear is some of the best that I have seen in the game so far. Within the Battle Pass, you'll find weapon coatings, armor pieces, vehicle cosmetics, and there's even 2 new armor cores. These will likely be the reason that I'll continue to play Halo Infinite. However, this unfortunately is all I can say that's good about Season 2. There's bugs and I can handle that, but unfortunately a lot of the bugs that were prevalent in Season 1 and fixed have now returned. And we have a whole bunch of new bugs. But again, as I said, I can handle bugs, I can deal with that. The removal of skill jumps though that no one asked for, the focus on free-for-all, battle royale type gameplay, the lack of content, modes and maps has me rethinking my commitment to play Halo through the rough times, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. It's thoroughly disappointing. Joe State also mentioned something called drop pods that would be coming throughout Season 2. These drop pods would have content or hot fixes ready, and 343 would ship them when they were ready to be shipped, instead of waiting for the following season or some sort of event to be dropping these pods. As I said before, we'll see what happens with these content drops throughout the season. Hopefully 343 can get themselves back on track, and I certainly hope they can. That's it for today's video. If you've made it this far, thank you very much for watching, and if you like the content, please hit that like button, subscribe, share it out, and I'll see you in the next one.